Today is another lesson for dear Mr. Kilmer. Okay, let's look at the question. Today we will do question and answer. So for this video, I'll try to make more videos on questions and answers. So we'll have one question and then we'll look at the possible answer. So the question here is, suggest one character in the novel you have read who you think is a good role model for teenagers. Briefly describe the character and give reasons for your choice with close reference to the text. Okay, now look at the format. Uh, to answer literature or novel question, you have to remember the format where you need to have 5 paragraphs minimum, where the first paragraph you should dedicate it to the introduction, where you write the title of the novel that you have studied, the author, and also, if possible, write a brief summary of the story. And then for the second, third, and fourth paragraphs, you have to write the evidence, the three evidence or the reasons for the questions asked. Okay, then the conclusion is the last paragraph, which is paragraph 5. Okay, now we're going to move on to introduction. This is the suggested introduction. We can start off by saying that the novel I studied is Dear Mr. Kilmer by Anne Schraff. So this is you're telling the title, Dear Mr. Kilmer, and the writer or the author is Anne Schraff. The book is about a farm boy living in Iowa. After reading Joyce Kilmer's poetry, farm boy Richard Knight began a correspondence with a soldier poet about his own writing, even as he worried about the war in Europe and the way people treated his German American neighbor Hannah. So you can write like this, which is a brief summary of the novel. So this is paragraph 1. Okay, let's move on to contents, which are paragraph 2, 3, and 4. Contents. So you are going to choose Richard Knight as the role model. So you can give 3 reasons here of his positive traits or personalities. So you can say that he's kind or caring. First of all, because the evidence is he refused to kill the buck or he purposely misfired during a hunting trip. And you can also mention Richard signed the sympathy card for Hannah when her parents' tavern was vandalized. Okay, the second uh, positive personality or characteristic is being brave. Because Richard revealed to his family members and also his classmates that he liked writing poems. And the last positive trait or characteristic is positive. You can mention the event where he declined the role of the doughboy to support Hannah, who decided not to accept the role of Lady Liberty. So let's look at the model answer for content 1, which is paragraph 2. A good role model for teenagers was Richard. He was 15 years old. He was tall, pale, and slender. Richard was Mr. Knight's son. He had an elder sister, Angie, and brother, Gus. He was Mr. Kilmer's pen pal and Hannah's best friend. He loved poetry. Okay, so next one you can write. There were 3 reasons why I chose Richard as a good role model. Firstly, he was kind. One day, Mrs. Hanson asked her class to sign a card for the Schwimmers. Someone vandalized the tavern owned by Hannah's parents and painted dirty hands all over the walls. Mrs. Hanson brought a card to express regret for what had happened. The troublemakers like Abner, Harry, Blanche, and Peggy refused to sign the card. They warned other classmates not to sign the card too, so the boys were afraid Abner and Harry would hit them. The girls worried that popular girls like Peggy and Blanche would not speak to them. However, Richard was the only student who signed a sympathy card for Hannah. After school, Richard took the card for Mrs. Hanson. He wanted to give the card to Hannah. So this could be the answer for the evidence for being a positive role model. So let's look at the next one, paragraph 3, for content or evidence number 2. Moreover, Richard showed bravery. He told his family he wrote poetry. Before telling his secret to his family, Richard wrote a letter to Mr. Kilmer, a famous poet. Richard learned about Mr. Kilmer when his English teacher, Mrs. Hanson, read a poem to the class. The title of the poem was Trees by Joyce Kilmer. In his letter, Richard told Mr. Kilmer that he wrote poems too. However, he kept this a secret from everyone. Richard asked for Mr. Kilmer's advice. He wanted to know whether he should tell his secret to everyone. One day, Richard received a letter from Mr. Kilmer. Mr. Kilmer advised Richard to overcome his fear. Mr. Kilmer advised Richard to share his poetry with people around him. Nobody was interested when Richard told his family about Mr. Kilmer's letter and his secret. Gus did not believe that Mr. Kilmer was famous. Pa did not believe that Richard wrote poetry. Richard asked whether his family members wanted to read his poems. Nobody was interested. Richard was sad. Gus advised Richard not to tell anyone he wrote poetry. He wanted Richard to fit in with the other people. Everyone called him a Hun lover after he signed the card for Hannah. So this could be the evidence for being a good role model. And then the next one, which is paragraph 4, we can talk about Richard being supportive. So this is the model answer. In addition, he was supportive. Hannah and Richard won the roles of Lady Liberty and the Doughboy respectively because they wrote the best essays. Mrs. Hanson asked the class to write an essay as one of the activities for a patriotic program which helped sell Liberty bonds. Because you must remember, they are trying to help fund or support the Americans in the war. Many students were angry when Hannah won the role. They regarded Hannah as an unpatriotic German, although she was an American citizen. Hannah told Richard that her essay started a little war in Turtle Lake. So she was scared about starting the war in Turtle Lake. Okay? She did not want to cause any more trouble. So she declined the role of Lady Liberty. Richard wanted to support Hannah. Therefore, Richard declined his part as the doughboy. His family, his classmates, and the Turtle Lake people criticized him for turning down his role. They called him unpatriotic and a traitor. Remember, this part also scolded Richard about this. This criticism never stopped Richard from standing up for what was right. So this is the last evidence for the answer. Okay, now we're going to move on to the conclusion. This is the suggested conclusion. You can write a simple one. In conclusion, in my opinion, Richard is definitely a good role model for teenagers because he had many good personalities or traits like kindness, bravery, and being supportive. Okay, that's all for the lesson today. I'll do more videos on questions and answers. Thank you. Bye bye. Do subscribe to my channel.